While you're doing your job just to get your paychecks out, it's very important to find your passion. When you wake up in the morning, what is it that you want to do every single day of your life? That's when you figured your passion out. So there is no such structure to get viral. Focusing on two areas, your consistency plays a very, very key role. You have to put out content, more story-led content regularly, then your post will go viral. But also I feel that you have to have a structure to your post. All recruiters, this generation is looking for more of LinkedIn profiles more than your resumes. And LinkedIn profile is literally becoming your CV.
Performance marketing, e-commerce marketing, content marketing. Is this the world that you see yourself in? If you dream to work in these roles at Hindustan Unilever Limited, here's your chance. Apply to Alt Uni's certificate program in digital marketing with HUL. The participants achieved a return of 12 times the investment with an 80% average salary hike. Hurry up! Apply now to the program from the link in the description. Limited seats available.
If you want to start your career in a particular field, identify top people in your industry, influencers, enthusiasts. I literally cleaned up my Instagram following. I was following a lot of random people. I unfollowed them because I realized I only need to see people in my industry. The more and more people I see in my industry, the more and more I wake up, I get motivated to see and put myself out there.
You mentioned that at some point, money did not make sense to you, right? You thought that I have had enough. I have had this paycheck for months now, but my job is not making me happy.
Correct.
Right? I'm sure a lot of people at this point in time in their careers are at the same sort of a boat, right? What are a couple of things that they need to keep in mind before they actually resign? And why should they stick back, or why should they resign?
I felt that over these years, it was very important as an individual to have a side hustle. While you're doing your job just to get your paychecks out, it's very important to find your passion. When you wake up in the morning, what is it that you want to do every single day of your life? That's when you figured your passion out. So number one, figuring out your passion, which drives you every day. Content drives me every day. That's why I love to speak about it. That's point number one. Second thing, what I realized is talking to a lot of people in your industry, most important. Because the more and more you talk to people in your industry, the more and more people will know you for who you are. And thirdly, most importantly, identifying the core subjects, what you are wanting to know about. Researching, studying subjects, studying them, following platforms like Pinterest, following platforms like Google Trends, following different platforms and just studying about them. So these are few steps which I feel one must follow to probably get into what you want to do in life.
Right. Young people specifically, must be following you on LinkedIn.
Sure.
They must be messaging you also day in and day out about guidance, about, what they should do in life. Any such story that has stayed back with you, where somebody has actually come up and taken mentorship or guidance from you and you could have helped them?
Yeah. So when you're on platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, the world is there for you. So one such example I would like to give you of a Nigerian mentee. Her name is Winifred, and not a writer at all, but she just messaged me, hey, you know what, Punita, can you help me get a job in content writing? I said, listen, Winifred, you don't even know writing. How do you want me to give you a job? But the passion, the energy, the skill, the excitement, the way she approached me, I said, what am I going to lose? I'm going to be losing a client if she doesn't do well, right? Let me give her that job. I gave her a job, like a 4-month project on a content writing task. And you won't believe it, she did so well because it was just about believing in her. And today she's already on her own as a freelancer. So when I'm actually hiring writers, marketers who are wanting to work with me, I don't hire on the experience part. I mainly hire on skill and most importantly, passion.
Punita, also, people who are here who want to know more about how to get into content marketing, where to start,
Correct.
what they need to work on, what is the niche that they should pick up, any suggestions that you have, like any niche that you think will be a big thing in the coming time that they should start working on now so that they have a, place of their own.
So I know there are many. When I had done I educated a lot of students from the Alt Uni batch last month, and I realized there are a lot of students who are finance experts who want to get into marketing. A lot of CAs who want to get into marketing, and it's very surprising that they are wanting to get into marketing. What I strongly feel is network with the right people, and doing a course really helps, because in that course, what happens when I educated a lot of students from Alt Uni batch, I actually pulled out a lot of students who are right now working for me. So you start getting the right mentors.
Right. Let's talk about the program that you were associated
Absolutely.
with at Alt Uni.
Yeah.
What was that program about, and what was your experience like, so
Sure.
to say?
So when Alt Uni approached me, they approached me via LinkedIn itself, saying that, listen, can we have you as one of our instructors who can educate our audience students on marketing? So I created like a 10-chapter module course, which was mainly on design thinking, marketing, branding, communication, positioning, and there were about 6 sessions. All the students, there were about 65 students, mainly non-marketers, but extremely enthusiastic about marketing. And the way when I was educating them and mentoring them and teaching them, and I was giving them assignments, I realized that they had it in them. They just needed guidance. And today there are 3-4 students who are actually working with me, and the kind of campaigns they are learning on the go, it's commendable. So I really feel that even if you are a non-marketer, go out there and register yourself in a course like this, because you never know. It's within you, but it's not coming out.
Digital marketing is something definitely where we all are headed to. We are seeing the potential of digital marketing day in and day out, and content is a big part of the digital marketing world, right? In what ways content can help you to get into the world of digital marketing is what I want to know from you.
If you are looking at becoming a content marketer, the kind of jobs that you will get are mainly 3. 1, as a content marketer, you are having a role of writing as well, because content marketing has 4 buckets: social media, blog writing, PR. These are the few buckets. So most importantly, writing plays a very, very key role in content marketing. So if you're looking at becoming a marketer, number 1, writing is the key. Number 2, research. You have to focus on researching and being used to researching, because that's what your brands want from you. And most importantly, as a marketer, you have to focus on failing on brands. The more and more you fail in the kind of brands you work towards. When I started out as a freelancer, I had 4 brands who were starting out. All 4 brands completely failed because the brand did not brief me properly. The brand did not give me the objective. So as a marketer, it's very important to question them that, listen, what is your goal? What is your objective? What is your whole purpose of creating a brand?
Is there a grammar or a structure that you have to weave in order to get more and more people's attention towards the content and the marketing that you're doing around it?
So there is no such structure to get viral. Focusing on 2 areas, your consistency plays a very, very key role. You have to put out content, more story-led content regularly, then your post will go viral. But also I feel that you have to have a structure to your post. Start with a hook line, because people want to get, they need to urge them to read more. So hook line is very, very important. Then you focus on the meat, which is your actual knowledge, what you're giving out. Then you focus on the solution of your entire post. And last is you end with a proper call to action. Because once you actually take your post onto a journey, step-by-step journey, that's how people will understand your thinking. And people are not looking at Gyan. people are looking at solutions. They're looking at how can Punita help me? They don't care about who I am, but they care about how can I help them. That's the key.
And content marketing today has become very personal. Like
Right.
as you mentioned that you can't just give gyan, right? You have to lace it with your own personal anecdotes and the kind of life that you have led and the kind of person that you are, right? When you are telling people about your stories, they relate to you more. Keeping that in mind, anything that you have done so far
Sure.
that you think has worked wonders for you?
Yes, a failure story of mine. When I was in my corporate space in Times Network, I had this crazy dream about settling abroad. Canada jana tha, Australia jana tha. So then I had to go out and give these IELTS exams and yours Pearson's English test exams. So I don't know what happened. In that exam, I would just fail by 1 mark, but I had that madness. मेरे पास भूत था. So I kept giving that exam again and again, and I literally gave that exam more than 13 times, and I still failed. And I
Wow.
still failed, and I never went to Australia. I'm still here right now. I didn't get to go to Australia, but you know what? Today, when I look back and I rewind my journey, I'm so glad I gave that exam 13, English exam 13 times, because today I'm a marketer helping brands create content, and English is a very important subject. So it's actually feeling that, oh my God, thank God that failure happened. Today, it's brushed up my skills.
Right. Punita, you have been building your brand.
Right.
You've said that that's the path that you want to take from now. What lies ahead? How are you planning to go ahead with this plan? What is in store? And how bright is the prospect from here? And what are the things that you can take up from here? What doors open up from here?
So, as a marketer, I feel the next steps, if you're starting out or even if a professional like me, I feel that content marketing is extremely huge. It's never going to die out. So, as an individual, as a brand, you can always market yourself. So I strongly feel that as a marketer, number one, getting into the space of marketing, starting small. I started very small. I started with small brands. But from small brands today in 2 years, I have grown and handling more than 10, 12 brands. It's happened over 1.5 years. So if you're starting out, it's okay to start small, but start somewhere, most important.
Superb. Start somewhere and, that's where magic happens.
Exactly.
You need to start and you need to say that, okay, I have procrastinated enough and this is the time when I go out there and I tell the world that what I'm good at. Keeping in mind the shift in the different platforms that are also happening, keeping in mind, how platforms are also making you act in a certain way. So for example, today hashtags are a thing, tomorrow they are not very, important.
Correct.
Today, Instagram posts are a thing. Tomorrow, that ceased to exist. So how do you, cope up with that particular change when you are in this industry and you are making content and you are constantly trying to evolve yourself?
The way I have evolved is because when I started on LinkedIn formats kept moving. We started with posts, then there were LinkedIn stories that died off. There's newsletters, which is also dying off. And I realized that this trend is keeping on changing. But what is going to remain with us, constant, and platforms might die out, is your email list. So what I started doing is, the minute I started posting content on LinkedIn, a lot of comments kept coming, a lot of DMs kept coming. I started collating them as emails. And now I literally worship those emails because I send them newsletters, I send them some kind of educating content which educates them, and that audience of mine is my core, whom I've built over 2 years. So I feel platforms might die, you never know, but you have to have your core email list which you have to keep worshipping as a Bible.
And how important it is to be true to your audience?
Just being yourself. Many a times on social media platform, people try to be something different, and I realize that's not going to stay. How long you're going to be somebody else? I just feel being there as you, whoever you are, it doesn't matter what people think of you. Just who you are as an individual, that's how your consistency will stay, and that's how people would want to know more about you again and again.
Right. Punita, the theme of this year's Conversations Cafe is the $1 million skill that you
Right.
can acquire. According to you, who has been in the content marketing space for so long, what is that $1 million skill that people should acquire today to be future ready?
I feel 3 skills: being fearless, extremely important; networking with the right people, as getting the right audience; and third thing is creativity.
Punita, it's been a wonderful journey that you have had so far. I would like now the audience to also,
Sure.
ask any questions that you have for Punita.
In order to get more attention to your post or whatever you're planning to create content on, how do you create your ideal target audience when you're starting from the base up?
Right. So you form buckets. You form buckets of people. So as I mentioned in the beginning, when I started out with 4,000 followers way back in 2020 March, I formed 3 buckets of people. My 3 buckets were influencers in my domain, because they are the ones who've got 5 lakh followers and XYZ million followers. So when you as an individual is commenting on their posts, your comment is showing up and their followers start following you. So one is bucket 1, influencers. The second are enthusiasts, who are people like me who are starting out but are always there putting themselves out there. So 5,000, 10,000 followers who are not very big but are very, very active. That's your bucket 2. And your bucket 3 is prospect customers. There are a lot of prospect customers who are also out there on LinkedIn who talk about their brands, comment on their post, show up as an individual, because the more and more you show up, the more and more people will know you for who you are. So 3 buckets, what I formed, and then I started building a community, and those 3 buckets then formed XYZ followers. So it's all of chain of reaction.
I'm going to join EY later this year. So in one of the pre-boarding program that they kept for us, they taught us about how to build your brand, like as an individual.
Personal brand.
So yeah, so in future I'm going to pursue an MBA. So once I'm in a college, how do I communicate with recruiters, and how do I put myself out there?
Start with LinkedIn. Focus on first optimizing your profile with keywords, because if you're focusing on doing an MBA in marketing, put your specific keywords in your profile with a profile picture, like just optimize it, step number 1. And step number 2, I feel that since you want your people to hire you in future, it's very important to go out there on LinkedIn and talk to your audience with content. So start putting out content posts which are educational. I'm not saying put out very high education content, but which showcase you as somebody who's a starter but yet knows what he's doing. Because all recruiters this generation is looking for more of LinkedIn profiles more than your resumes. And LinkedIn profile is literally becoming your CV. So I suggest that number 1, optimization of profile. Number 2, putting out yourself in content. And number 3, outbound reach. On LinkedIn, you can actually do an outbound and send out 10 messages per day. Imagine you have 20 days in a month minus weekends, 200 messages in a month. If you send out to prospect recruiters, you will get a 10% conversion, which is 20 people will respond to you. And those 20 people, you will get, say, about 5 interviews, and you'll crack 2, and then you can choose 1. So I strongly feel content, profile, and outbound reach.
Punita, I think, it was an interesting session. We learned somewhat, what content marketing is and how you can make a career out of it as well. It was wonderful learning about your journey as well. You have spent considerable amount of time in the TV industry, and now you're moving to the world where the world is also moving, that is digital. All the best for all the future endeavors that you want to take up. Thank you very much, Punita, for your time.
Thank you.
And it was lovely interacting with you.
Thank you.
Performance marketing, e-commerce marketing, content marketing. Is this the world that you see yourself in? If you dream to work in these roles at Hindustan Unilever Limited, here's your chance. Apply to Alt Uni's certificate program in digital marketing with HUL. The participants achieved a return of 12 times the investment with an 80% average salary hike. Hurry up! Apply now to the program from the link in the description. Limited seats available.